Well, we all thought the trip to Turf Moor on Friday was tough. The next one's about to get even tougher. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Project Boro Preview Show. The show where we, of course, preview and look ahead to every single Boro game here on the channel. And today, well, we're looking at what I think is the toughest fixture any team can face right now. The toughest game at the toughest place against who I think are the best team in the Championship currently, and that is Leeds United. I know the time of recording, they're top of the league because Sheffield United haven't played yet. There's a high chance they won't be by the time this video drops. But I feel like when I look at Leeds, and I've said this in numerous Championship League table prediction videos, and I think the stats back it up as well. They're one of the best, if not the best, attacking team in the league. They're the most creative. They're actually against the best. We'll get into all the stats and all the individual players and bits and pieces in between. But for me, Leeds United are the best team in the league, and they were and are still, have been since the start of the season, my favourites to go up as champions. So I think not only is this game as tough as it can get in the Championship, I think it's even tougher because of the form and the place that Leeds United are in right now. And it's a big one for Boro as well. We come off the back of a very good, very positive, resolute 1-1 draw at Burnley, which, kept the gap to them somewhat. But this is a huge game for Boro in the sense that I think if we don't win this game, our automatic promotion hopes could be on the ropes, if not over. If we lose this game, I think they're done. Leeds United currently, 7 points clear of Boro. If they beat us on Tuesday, the gap to Leeds is 10. I'm sorry, but Leeds are a team who've lost only 3 games all season. Boro would have to pretty much win every game, I think, on 90% of the games that remain to overturn a 10-point deficit to Leeds, given how consistently they're picking up points. They're on 2 points per game at the moment. Sheffield United are also just above 2 points a game, and if they're to win in their game today against West Brom, Sheffield United are going to be probably 10 points ahead of Boro, if not more. So again, Boro are competing here with teams at the top, and we're trying to catch teams at the top who are currently playing at 2 points a game, which is automatic promotion level. For Boro to close a 10-point gap to them teams, we'd have to perform not only at a 2 points per game level, that's just to maintain their current trajectory, we'd have to better that, and that ain't happening. It's just not. Boro would have to win most games and rely on probably not 1, not 2, maybe even 3 of the top 4 to fall off a cliff to catch them. So quite honestly, and I know it sounds blunt and maybe it sounds a bit gloomy, but if Boro lose on Tuesday, the gap to Leeds is 10. By the end of the day, today, the gap could be 10 to Sheffield United already. And if they win midweek, it could be 13. Burnley could extend their gap to us to 9 if we don't win on Tuesday. And even Sunderland could extend their gap to us to 8. So it's a big, big moment for Boro. And don't get me wrong, if we win it, I think we maintain an outside chance of what already I think is a massive outside chance. Lose this game, or even draw it, just because of how many other sides there are up there at the minute who are performing at such a high level. I think it's curtains, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I think for me, I'm putting top 2 out of my mind. And I just want us to consolidate a place in the playoffs. So I'm not looking at what Sheffield United and Burnley are doing as much. I'm looking at what Sunderland are doing, and I'm looking at what Blackburn, Watford, West Brom are doing as well. Because I'd be quite happy to just consolidate a place in the top 6. I don't give a crap if we're 20 points off second. As long as we're comfortably in the top 6, that's all I care about. And a draw or a win could go a long way in achieving that goal. So let's look at Leeds United then, because it's safe to say they're good at everything. They're good at everything. They're very good at home. And as I said at the top of the show, this fixture probably couldn't be any more difficult for Boro right now. So Leeds currently sit top of the Championship as of time of recording. I must stress that. They might be second depending on what Sheffield United do at West Brom. But either way, they'll be in the top 2. They've won 11 from their opening 19 league games, drawing 5 and only losing 3. It is also worth noting the 3 games that Leeds have lost this season have all been by 1 goal to nil. So when they have lost, it's not been by much. And had them games been ever so slightly different, you might be looking at a Leeds team who'd not lost at all this season. That is how good they've been. They've scored 33 goals this season, conceding only 13, with the best goal difference in the Championship of plus 20 at the moment. Not only are they right up there as one of the form teams in the league, they're also the best home side in the Championship. Full stop. Of the 10 home league games they've played so far, they've won 8 of them, drew 1 and only lost 1, which again was a narrow 1-0 defeat to Burnley. So they're an extremely strong home side, winning pretty much all of their home games. And another slightly scary stat for Boro is at Elland Road, not only have Leeds scored 22 goals, which is over 2 goals a game, and conceded only 5, they've won all of their last 7 home games in a row, and they've won 6 of them to nil. They've only conceded once in their last 7 home games. It is the definition of a fortress. And just their general form at the moment is really good. They've lost, as I say, only 3 times. And every time they have lost, they've won on a really good run of results after that. So they lose every once in a blue moon. And they've only lost 2 of their last 13 league games. So on form now. They're great at home. They're absolutely untouchable at home right now. This is going to be tough for Boro, it's safe to say. And not only does the form back up how good Leeds are, and not only does their home form do the same, their numbers do as well. So, going forward, Leeds are second for goals scored in the Championship with 33 goals. Level with Boro, only behind Norwich City. They're up there for XG as well. They're second for expected goals alongside Boro. So you can imagine this is going to be a game where chances are going to be created left, right and centre. I've mentioned this a number of times. It could be a basketball game. And recent head-to-heads between Boro and Leeds have had goals galore. So if you're a neutral, this is going to be a cracker. And I'm sure there'll be goals flying in left, right and centre. And I'll obviously look a little bit deeper into that when I look at the head-to-head at the end of the episode and of the end of the video. But they're right up there alongside Boro at 4 XG. So they are a chance-creating machine. And every time I've seen Leeds at home, the pressure and the relentless penetration that they put the opposition under, it's crazy. It's just constant bombardment, attack after attack, wave after wave. You just do not get a moment's rest at Elland Road. And to back up their incredibly strong offensive stats even more, they're top for shots on target, top for big chances, and top for big chances missed. So Boro's defence and Boro's goalkeeper have to be expecting a barrage of attacks and shots and chances at their goal this midweek game. But equally, Leeds would probably expect the same going their way as well. However, Leeds may be known as a very good offensive team, but I think they're slightly overlooked defensively. Now, I get it. I think when you maybe think of top defensive teams in the Championship, you currently will look at Burnley, obviously, for their goals conceded, and Sheffield United as well for their unbelievable number of clean sheets. And although they may be thought of as a very good attacking team, Leeds are right alongside them defensively, and even at their very high standard, I'd say slightly underrated. They're the 4th best defence in the Championship, conceding only 13 goals. Only West Brom, Sheffield United and Burnley have conceded fewer. And you look at their XG against, and this is something I brought up in the Burnley preview I did last week. I was quite surprised to see that in terms of how many chances they limit the opposition to and how much is created against them, Leeds have the best XG against in the league. A better XG against than Burnley. A better XG against than Sheffield United. So they should be, really, looking at the data, they should have conceded the least number of goals in the league given their unbelievable defence. And I guess that's also backed up by the fact that they are third in the Championship for clean sheets. I know a lot's made of Meslier in goal and how he has a mistake in him, and I can completely see that. But again, defensively, they're only behind Burnley and Sheffield United for clean sheets. Burnley and Sheffield United have 12, Leeds have 11. So when I say the best team in the league, I know Sheffield United fans might take issue with me saying that, but there is no one else in the league who are top of pretty much most metrics, both offensively and defensively. And that's where Leeds United are. Burnley and Sheffield United may be slightly better defensively, but Leeds are miles better offensively than them both. That's why they are, for me, the best team in the league. So yeah, the stats are a little bit scary for Boro. We have got our work cut out for us ahead of this one. Absolutely. When you look at the Leeds team, you can absolutely see why they've just got quality everywhere, depth, an abundance of just top-end Championship players. And this is what they played last time out when they beat Derby at the weekend by 2-0. So they matched Boro up with a 4-2-3-1. And to be honest, I could run through every single player in the Leeds United team and chat about how good they are. But of a few standouts, I think Joe Rodon's always going to be a standout in that central defence. Strike's a good player alongside him as well. That's not even taking into consideration Ethan Ampadu, who's just come back from an injury and was on the bench against Derby. He's a very good defender and also midfielder. And when you look in midfield, Tanaka, who is a player who I don't think would be starting if Ampadu was fit, has stolen the headlines really as a real find for Leeds United this season. Tanaka has been outstanding. He's an incredible on the ball. He's great in tight spaces. He's a fantastic reader of possession as well. Great at breaking up play and winning Leeds the ball back. He very much reminds me of Aidan Morris. I'd say he's probably the only other player in the Championship I've seen who is as good as Aidan Morris at what he does in that midfield. So Tanaka, an outstanding find, a brilliant player in midfield. Same for Rothwell, who plays alongside him. And then, I mean, how many attackers do you want to list, really, that Leeds United have at their disposal? Dan James, one of the most dangerous players in the league for his pace. Aronson has come back in from the cold, you could say, and has done very, very well for them this season. Solomon as well, another great signing who's come in and been outstanding. Joel Perrault, their top goal scorer this season as well. And that's not even looking at the bench where they've got the likes of Matteo Joseph. Willie Nonto's not even been playing for them. He's been on the bench. You know, Ramazani's another player who, when he's come in at times, has been absolutely electric for them as well. It's an embarrassment of attacking riches for Leeds United, and the numbers kind of back that up as well when you look at it. Joel Perrault is their top goal scorer currently with 7 goals. He's also top when it comes to goal contributions with 9 goals and assists combined. You know, he's not the only one who's scoring goals in this Leeds team as well. They're sharing them around quite well. These are all non-penalty goals, by the way. Brendan Aronson's got 4. Dan James has got 3. Ramazani's got 3. Nonto's got 3. You look at the assists. Willie Nonto's top of the assist chart, and he's not even in the starting 11. He's got 5 assists so far. Again, they're sharing them around. Firpo 3. Joseph 3. He's not even playing or starting at the moment. Rothwell 2. James 2. Pirro 2. I mean, there's just attackers coming at you from all angles, and trying to manage and keep, you know, them all quiet and keep them under wraps. It's going to be so difficult for Boro, and I think it's just it's a case of just how good of a football team they are. I think Boro are going to have to do what they did in the cup game. You know, we're going to have to try and keep their attackers quiet. Hope they have a bit of an off day, because Leeds did miss chances in that game, and I think we're going to have probably our best defensive performance of the season, and we're going to have to be deadly and ruthless going the other way, again, like we were in the cup game. As for the Boro 11, though, this is what I've gone with. It's kind of similar to the 11 I actually originally picked for Burnley, to be honest with you. I've stuck with Seny Dieng in goal, but that is a slight concern for me. I mentioned this on the Boro Breakdown podcast, and I mentioned it in my Project Boro as well. Starting to lose a little bit of faith in Seny Dieng. I've got to be absolutely honest. This is a huge, huge game for him. It's a tough game for him, and I don't think he should be judged on whether he keeps a clean sheet here, because Leeds always score at Elland Road, but he needs to put in a strong performance. You know, he needs to keep the goals as low as possible. He needs to do his best to prevent all the chances Leeds are going to have and the amount of shots they're probably going to have on our goal. It's a huge, huge moment for Seny Dieng. This is his chance for me. The back four, I've gone with the same as I did against Burnley. I thought they did exceptionally well, and that's put Edmondson on the left and Dale Fry alongside him. Fry deserves immense credit for how well he's done since he's come back in from his injury. Borges and Dijksteel on either side. I think Dijksteel deserves to start again. To be honest, he played very well in the cup game against Leeds earlier in the season and did brilliantly against Burnley. And I guess, obviously, the alternative is Luke Ayling. And against his former club, yep, I get the narrative, but I also don't quite trust Luke Ayling up against Solomon. If it's him or whoever Leeds opt to play on the left, I feel like Luke Ayling's weakness are really quick, direct, tricky wingers, and Leeds have them in abundance. So I'd have Dijksteel, who I think's got better recovery pace and might do better in them duels. Hackney and Barlasser in the midfield. I mean, yeah, Barlasser played on Friday, but I still think he'll come in and play again here. I think he's been outstanding the last few games, Dan Barlasser, and neither him or Hackney should be dropped, to be honest with you. And Howson is just not an option for this game. I think he'll get absolutely overrun like crazy by the Leeds midfield. We need as much legs and mobility and bite in that central midfield as possible. I think Barlasser and Hackney are the only two options for that. And the front four are the same that I predicted for Burnley. Azaz, obviously, could be key in unlocking the door. And there will be space. Let's not, beat around the bush here. Leeds will commit men forward. They will leave gaps for Boro to exploit. They did it in the cup game. They did it last season. Boro have done really well at scoring past this Leeds side, despite not getting on the right end of most of the results. So talk a lot about the number of chances Leeds are going to get. Boro are also going to get an absolute abundance of chances as well. So I think you need Azaz in there to create them. Ben Dutt could be the X factor. He could really be the difference, him and Bergzorg down each side. I think when we're going to be counter-attacking, because let's be honest, we're not going to have anywhere near as much of the ball as Leeds. We're going to be defending for large parts. I think how we hit Leeds on the counter-attack is going to be huge. And I think Dork and Bergzorg, either side, running in behind, counter-attack, could be absolutely key. And Bergzorg's another one who had a lot of joy against Leeds earlier in the Cup. So I think they're the two to start on either side. I think you just need pace. Just pace down the sides to get in behind, get over the top, and that goes for Lath as well. I think that might be why he didn't start against Burnley. He's being kept for the Leeds game. He's got a great record. He scored in, I think, each time he's played Leeds United, actually, in both the reverse game at the Riverside last season and our last visit to Elland Road in the league. Lath scored. So, again, I think when you've got space in behind, he is the man to exploit that. Counter-attacking, I think the front three alongside Azaz, they're the perfect front three to combat this Leeds side and give us any sort of a chance against them when them spaces open up. However, just when you may be hoping for a glimmer of hope for Boro, the head-to-head unfortunately does not give you that. Because of the last 21 meetings that Boro and Leeds have, and this takes us back to October 2010, Leeds have won 11, which is quite a chunk. Boro have won 5, and there's been 5 draws as well. So Leeds absolutely have Boro in this fixture. One thing to note is in the last 5 games, there's been 20 goals between the two. So, I mean, as I've said in previous videos, this could be 3-all, 4-3, 5-5. It might just be who is more clinical on the day. That might be Boro's best chance. I don't think Boro should look to stifle Leeds United. Maybe our best chance is to just accept it's going to be an open game and it's going to be end-to-end. Both teams are going to have 25 shots on target. Maybe we just have to edge our bets on them having a bad day in front of goal and we have our clinical shooting boots on. Maybe that's our best chance of winning a 3-2 or a 4-3. I don't know. But there's been goals galore and there'll be goals again. Boro's 3-0 win in the Cup at Elland Road in August was our first win there in 13 years because our last win at Elland Road in the league come in August 2011. So yeah, we've not had a great time at Elland Road in general, and it's been a long time since we've won there in the league. And just in recent form, Leeds have won each of the last 4 league games. They beat Boro 4-3 at the Riverside last April, beat Boro 3-2 in December just prior. They beat Boro 1-0 at Riverside the year before in 2020, and battered us 4-0 in 2019. So in the last 4 league games between the two, Leeds have won every single one and are unbeaten against Boro in the league in our last 6. So to round this up, Leeds are very good and Boro have got a job on. But that doesn't mean we can't win, because this is the sort of game that I think really would suit Boro. We always play well on the road. We always play well against open sides, because we are a very good chance creating a away side ourselves. So Leeds, listen, they're going to have a lot of the ball. Boro are going to have to do very, very well to get through that first 20 minutes. If we weather the early storm, settle, quieten the crowd, I think that's when maybe we can have some joy. I still feel like there'll be goals. Even last season when we went to Elland Road in the league, we scored first early with Lath, and we found ourselves 2-1 10 minutes later. The game can flip and turn so quickly when Boro and Leeds play, and the quality, I've got to say, when the two play each other is always incredibly high. So this is going to be a top championship affair. I'm absolutely sure of it. But make no mistake, Boro are going to have to be on top of it defensively, and we're going to have to be very, very good in front of goal going the other way to give ourselves a chance. Now, of course, we have the psychological advantage of beating them 3-0 in the Cup, and we can take a lot of positives from what worked that day and try and do that again. But I honestly feel like Leeds are a different beast since then. They'll have a much stronger team out, and they're in great form as well. So, can Boro win? Absolutely. Will Boro win? I don't think we will. And the most optimistic, realistic outcome, and I know a lot of fans will just, 3-0 Boro, 4-0 Boro, we'll beat Leeds, of course. I'm a realist, and I look at the numbers, and I don't get carried away with emotion. I feel like the best result Boro could probably hope for is a draw, because not many teams will win at Elland Road, not many teams score. Most importantly, not many teams keep Leeds out. So they're going to score, we need to score. I've gone Leeds 2, Boro 2 as my prediction. And short term, I think that would be a good result. Coming out to Burnley and Leeds unbeaten with 2 points at 2 very difficult grounds, I'd absolutely take in the short term. But I said this in my review of the Burnley game, it still wouldn't be enough for us long term. As I mentioned at the top of the show, if Leeds were to win or even draw, it doesn't matter, because if Sheffield United go and win, Burnley go and win, Sunderland go and win, the gap to the top end of the playoffs in the top 2 will just be too big. And it's not because of these 2 results that I think are going to cost Boro top 2. As we've said for a while, it's our bad start to the season. It's the slow start, playing catch up, the stupid drop points that has put us in this position where we have to go to Burnley and win, we have to go to Leeds and win, just to give ourselves an outside chance at top 2. If things don't go our way, top 2 is done. So let's just try and not lose ground to Leeds. If we can win, great. A point is okay. Blackburn, though, go to Sheff Wednesday win. And if Watford beat Hull, which is likely, Boro could find themselves outside the playoffs come Tuesday, Wednesday night, even if we draw at Leeds. So things could turn bleak even if we draw and pick up a point. I think that's where things are at right now. But I'd still take it short term, although we might need a win long term if we've got any hope of chasing top 2. As I say, I just want to consolidate playoffs. But let me know your thoughts, predictions and feelings ahead of this one, whether you're a Boro fan, Leeds fan or otherwise, what you think the team's going to be, what your hopes and expectations are for this fixture. If you've enjoyed the video, do hit a like on the video as always. Subscribe for more. We of course preview and review every single Boro game here on the channel, as well as round up all the championship action from each and every match day. Do hit the bell so you never miss when a video drops here on the channel. And if you like to listen to these videos, you can listen to all the Project Boro reviews and previews on your chosen podcast provider. Give me a like and a rating over there. You can find links in the description below. But most importantly, leave me a comment with your thoughts. Fingers crossed for a positive result. It's going to be so tough for us on Tuesday night, but I'm hopeful that we can pull something off because we've done it before. Hopefully we can do it again, and I'll see you all midweek to review this clash between Leeds and the Boro. I'll see you then.